So today I thought I would do a review of this limb cutter. It's a battery powered limb cutter, and I thought since I've used it enough I ought to do a review of it. Let's see what I think of it really. Pardon the bad camera angle, but this thing is long. It's longer than me. But this is my Greenworks limb cutter. It's battery operated. Comes with one battery. I recommend you get two. This right here is comes with a 40 volt battery, so get 2 amp hours. So I would definitely say get at least two. If you can find a bigger battery, get a bigger battery. It's a kind of important for using battery powered. So it uses an 8-inch saw blade. You can buy the saw blades from Greenworks, or since their blades are exactly Oregon blades, I mean that's what they actually use, is Oregon blades. They don't have anything special. You can see here is the number that you need for Oregon. But I would just get an Oregon blade. It's cheaper than buying the repackaged Oregon blades from Greenworks. Another thing you need to make sure you have on hand is this is Oregon brand. You don't have to use Oregon brand, but use some bar and chain oil. You're going to need a lot because this thing burns through bar and chain oil very easily. Another thing I would say is that it has a guard. Don't store this with bar and chain oil in it because it just pours out and it'll collect in that guard. When you take the guard out, it will just be everywhere, and if it overflows the guard, it gets everywhere. So make sure you never store it with the actual bar and chain oil in it, which isn't very hard because like I said, it goes through so much bar and chain oil. It has a very small reservoir, and so therefore you're always filling it with bar and chain oil. You might get 10-15 minutes and then you're having to put more bar and chain oil. They say it can go for longer, but that is not the case. So definitely by 20 minutes you're almost totally out of oil and you need to change it. And because it uses such a small chain, you only got an 8-inch long blade there. Because it uses such a small chain, you're always having to tighten it up. So just be aware of that. There's a little tightening feature right here. Like most chainsaws, you just use a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. That's no problem. Something else to realize, this thing comes in different pieces. So it's got 3 different sections. One is, this one right here is about 4 foot long. This is about little less than 3 foot, and then you got the other that is about 4 foot. All right, and they have connections that go into. You see that you have a handle grip there. The only problem I have is when you got a lot longer, there's no handle grip here. I wish they would put a handle grip right there, but they didn't. But I'm gonna put this together, put some oil in it, and we'll actually see how it works. One thing I do hate about Oregon brand bar and chain oil, it's not colored. Now, Greenworks does give you a clear reservoir to look at, but when you're using colorless bar and chain oil, you really can't see that much. It's not a big window to begin with, but it's adequate. But I mean, this is my finger. It's not a big reservoir, not much at all. And also, they don't have any easy pour spouts or anything, so if you don't have a funnel with you, it gets everywhere. But I mean, this thing blows through bar and chain oil so fast that you better have some on hand because you'll be using it constantly. Now, when you're trying to do it without the extender, it's not that hard to wheel, but if you have the extender on, you really need to have some type of strap or something other. I wish they would put a strap on this. There's a spot for a strap, but they don't sell it, and there's not another area on here that I can see to actually strap it to, but it would help. Now, this button right here is a release so that you can operate this button here, turn it on. Now, I've got some popcorn tree. Other areas of the country, they would call it Chinese tallow. I think in Louisiana, they call it chicken wood. It's an invasive tree that I use for smoking. You can check out where I did an invasive tree testing where I grilled some chicken and used some of this for smoking wood. It has rained. It rained yesterday, so I always use wet wood when I'm smoking, but we're going to just cut a little bit of this real quick. It's going to be kind of hard for me to show you with this camera, but I'll try to show you. It's fairly simple. So you just take this right here, put it where you want it, like right there. I'll show that there. You press this button back, turn this on, there you go. In less than 10 seconds, it made quick work of this. Now, if it was wet wood and it was oak, yeah, it takes a little longer, but as long as you're dealing with small limbs like this, very good. They tell you this is not a chainsaw, and so that's something to keep in mind. This is definitely not a chainsaw that you need to be using to cut down trees. This is for light duty work only, but really and truly, I'm impressed with it. It has held up through all of our yard work. We cut down a ton of limbs, and I couldn't be happier with this. Now, on this bigger piece here, you know, this was, I'd say, about 4.5 inches across right there. It took a little longer, and also this blade is trying to get slack. That's one thing I do hate about this. It gets slack. You're always having to adjust the chain. And as much as it's unwieldy at times, it's more doable and more usable than a gas-powered one. I can just imagine what gas-powered would be like. But all this took maybe 2 minutes max to cut up, and that's going to be more than enough wood for me to smoke with today for my Thanksgiving bird. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that if you had a company where you was doing lawn care or something like that, that this is what you would want. I'm not saying give up gas powered at all, but for the average person that you're just doing some light yard work, you know, you own a home, but it's not a lot of land, it's not a lot of woods, you're not going to be using this all the time, this right here is the ticket. It's a little expensive, but not that bad, really and truly, when you realize what you're getting and the uses you'll get at. do not care for cordless tools that much, because when I was growing up, cordless tools were not powerful. And over the years, they have changed. This is Greenworks. This is actually the Greenworks G Max. And it is a pole saw. There's this middle part right here, you can take it out and make it shorter or bigger or whatever. So it comes in 3 pieces: the cutting end, the power end, and then this middle extender. And it uses oil. You get about 20 minutes of use on the oil. And it has these batteries. We bought 2. And so this is a 40 volt lithium battery, 2 amp hours. It has a nice little tester right here. And the charger, everything on that, it charges fast. This thing has been a workhorse. Now, I normally give a lot of these tools a bad review. I talk bad about a lot of stuff, which you're not supposed to do on YouTube because they might pay you one day. But since I ain't getting paid, I really don't care, and I give my honest review. This right here, if you have an opportunity, get you the Greenworks G Max. I think this is the most powerful one that they got out now. If something comes out that's more powerful, I may get it. I may get more Greenworks tools. I am loving this. This is such a great find. It was my wife. I huffed, I puffed, I groaned like an old man talking about how stupid it was and how it wasn't going to work. This thing, I love it when I'm wrong. And man, was I wrong about this one. This is a good tool.